What's up, everybody? This is Dark Macek with Brutally Delicious, coming at you with a review of Powerwolf's brand new album, Wake Up the Wicked. Okay, so Powerwolf's a band that's been in my life for quite a bit. I did see their first ever US show last February and got COVID shortly thereafter. Just know that whatever I say during this review, this band is infinitely better live, so go catch them on their upcoming US tour. For those unfamiliar, Powerwolf is often lumped into the power metal genre, but I know I say this about most bands, they really do not sound like Stratovarius or Rhapsody or Blind Guardian. They are kind of their own thing, except that a lot of the tracks on this album remind me a shit ton of Sabaton. Their songs are often very anthemic, but it's not the super tenor vocal style. Don't get me wrong, his voice is a lot higher than most and probably higher than you think it is, but he is not Tommy Johansson. So, given that Powerwolf is in the mega tier of Euro power metal, I was hotly anticipating this album and had very high expectations, and I'm happy to say they were probably exceeded. On a first listen, I have to think it's probably their most consistent album. There were no songs on this that I thought were skips. And as is always the sign of a good album, I think I preferred the album tracks to the singles. The album is brilliantly produced. That is, it sounded so good, I kept turning it up to the point where I didn't realize how loud it was. I won't be surprised if I get a noise complaint. Everyone sounds wonderful, great guitar playing, great vocals, great drumming. Great. But now for the part everyone's waiting for. Let's talk about the songs. Bless 'Em with the Blade. This is the opening track, and it would be a fantastic show opener. It's a little unlike their usual style. It's way faster, it's more energetic, there's double bass stuff. You know, all the stuff I said they usually don't sound like. It's pretty refreshing to hear them expand into this. It's not a betrayal of their style. It's kind of like when AC/DC did Thunderstruck. That does not sound anything like, TNT, but no one thought they were changing. It's just another banger written by Powerwolf. Heretic Hunters. This is more their typical style, that plodding, mid-tempo, Sabaton kind of stuff. I can already foresee this being a jump song. For those unfamiliar, just about every power metal band out there has a song in their set, or 7, where they tell the crowd to jump with them, and they jump on the beat. It's usually reserved for tracks that are not overly fast, because jumping at 220 BPM gets tired real fucking fast. But it's usually a highlight of any power metal band's live set, and I can see this going straight there with Powerwolf. Oftentimes, these songs need to be heard live to be truly gotten. Well, I loved it on the album, so I can't imagine how it'll be in September. 1589. For sure a fantastic crowd sing-along, and this is totally the kind of track that makes Powerwolf Powerwolf. This track is almost like hearing Holy Wars for the first time in 1990 and thinking to yourself, damn, the band's outdone itself. They're probably going to rip this track off for the next 30 years to keep their career going. Viva Vulgata. Probably my favorite track on the album. It's got a fantastic chorus and is very oddly optimistic for them. Powerwolf is often singing about werewolves or like nighttime in Siberia or other, themes that make you feel eerie. And this title isn't far off of that, but that's not what the music's conveying. It's kind of like Jamie's Crying by Van Halen, where it's, a pretty upbeat track, but the lyric is that she's crying. Last but not least, Joan of Arc. Am I nuts, or is this totally similar to a Nanowar of Steel song that's parodying Sabaton? I know I've compared them to Sabaton several times earlier in this review, but this is just so meta in that it sounds like the Sabaton parody. I mean Pasadena 1994. Actually, though, Pasadena 1994 is a kick-ass song, and so is this one. It was just too funny of a coincidence not to point out. It's got energy. It's got a real pumping vibe. Another thing that just brings out some kind of primordial tribalism in the audience. It's one thing to write choruses that immediately catch your ear but are forgotten after 6 months. Something like this, if you hear it in concert, you will remember for the rest of your life. Okay, so I cannot say enough how awesome this album is from start to finish. I think the coolest part is that a lot of these tracks sound like they were written for fans, not for people to, put them on a metal playlist so they can just bump their Spotify numbers. They were not written to be generic or accessible. 20 years into a career, the band knows what they're doing. They could probably just coast at this point. But to put out an album of this quality this soon after their previous album, I guess we could say their hearts are still in it. Kick ass, dudes. Looking forward to seeing you in September with Unleash the Archers. Thank you. Rock on.
Hey everyone, this is Tuck from Fit for a King, an off-road minivan. Every week I bring you fun interviews alongside your favorite metalcore entertainers with my new podcast, Get Tucked. Join me every Monday with bands like Counterparts, Crystal Lake, like Moths to Flames, and many more. We play unsigned and undiscovered bands, deep dive into each artist's history, and of course provide the greatest breakdowns in current metalcore. Tune in to Get Tucked every Monday, out now through Sound Talent Media.